Hi guys, welcome to the start of my Pixelmon Catch-em-all series, where I'm going to try and obtain a living dex in Pixelmon Reforged mod for Minecraft. So by this point I'd set up a server already. I'd set the server to hard difficulty so I could have some friends in that join. Chose Charmander as my starter and got very lucky, as you can see, spawned just on the outskirts of a village that contained both a Pokemon Center, Pokemart and a gym. So one of the best starts I could have had. As I enter into the village, my first order of business was to collect myself some food. As I did say before, it was on hard difficulty, which means I can die from starvation. So straight away I go to the local village farms, start trying to harvest some wheat, replant some seed and whatnot so I can start to get some food. Now I wasn't overly happy with the amount of seeds that I got, because well, you only get a handful, so I went out to try and hunt for some more, and during that time, this happened.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Now, as you can probably tell, this was quicksand that I jumped into. I looked at it, assumed it was mud, not realising that quicksand was a thing in the 1.12 Minecraft with Biomes Aplenty mod. So, as soon as I realised quicksand was going to be an issue, I started trying to work my way towards the closest edge I could get to, in a hope that I could just jump straight out of it.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Now by this point, I'm sure you can imagine that panic was really setting in, considering that I couldn't jump on top of that block. So I tried to dig my way out a little bit. At each block, I tried to see if I could jump onto the next block next to it. As you can see, both times I had no success. I had to dig all the way to the end to get myself out. Now, after all that had gone on, I'd done a little bit more grinding with trying to get some supplies and whatnot, and had managed to find myself a furnace and a forge over in the back corner of the village. I went through there, decided to put some of the wood in that I had, turn some into planks for fuel, put some logs in so that I could actually make some torches. Well, once I'd made said torches, I was able to go into the cavern that I'd found just outside of the village and start having a bit of a hunt around for mining. So I'd also made myself some pickaxes by this point as well. And was keen to start trying to get my hands on some iron so I could start to make some Pokeballs. The one thing that I hadn't remembered by this point was that not only do you need the iron to make the base of the Pokeballs, but you also need apricorns to make the top of them, and you also need to make a special anvil to be able to make the Pokeballs on. So once I'd gone and collected some of the iron that you see me digging up just a moment ago, I'd gone through, put it through into the furnace, and decided to come back to the crafting table so I could start to make this anvil. There was no point in me trying to make the iron bases and whatnot yet, because obviously you need the anvil to be able to bash them out. I did already have a hammer, which I got lucky and found, so the main point of this was to go through, get the anvil set up, so that then I was ready to go when I had the spare iron. After building the anvil and having that set up, the next order of business was to go through and try and find some apricorn trees. So this was going to be the hardest part of the search because they only spawn in particular biomes and I needed such a wide variety of colours. So I set off on a journey out of the village with no food because I'm an numpty and went on search for some apricorns.
One eternity later.
Alright, now I'm back in the village. My search went relatively well, managed to find most of the colours that I needed. So by this point I got back to the village and was just going through to start planting some apricorns. Now I do know there were plant limits for every chunk. I'm not quite sure how many it was again. So I tried to space these out as well as I could, but still made sure that I had enough planted that I could make a decent amount of Pokeball lids ready to go. By the time it reached this point, I'd been off mining for the best part of maybe 30 to 40 minutes. I had managed to get myself some more iron and run it through the furnace, so I had iron ingots ready to go. From here I felt that the best plan of attack was going to be getting myself some iron bases ready and sorted, as I already had the anvil, I already had the hammer, I just needed the bases to make. That way, once I grew some apricorns and had enough of the bushes and enough of the berries to run through the furnace to make Pokeball lids, I could also use the hammer to bash them out and start to make my Pokeballs so the adventure could actually begin. So I went through, you'll see I run one or two here through on the anvil, make a little bit of a mistake there because I forget how the controls work. I run a couple through here, proceeded to make the rest of them afterwards off camera. So from here on out, there wasn't really much else that went on, just a little bit more grinding for some supplies and trying to set myself up ready to go. So thanks guys for watching. There's only episode 1. We do have many more episodes to go, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.